Hello there, this is Vic Benedict. We're playing Vergil's Downfall on Vergil Must Die difficulty, and this is mission 4 of 6 total missions. We're playing on the hardcore variant of Vergil Must Die, and we're using turbo mode, and we're going through the campaign without using items. So I just want to let everybody know, a heads up of what's coming. We have this chapter here, which is about 15 minutes, and it's pretty simple. Even the encounter with the imprisoned, I will show you a pretty good technique of using the the demonic doppelganger variant to petrify the imprisoned. The next chapter is about a 3.5 minute video with Hollow Vergil, and it is a really tough fight to learn. It took me about half of a day on and off to finally get it down. A couple of times I almost got him. One time I got him within like one hit of killing him, and I honestly didn't think I would be able to do it without using items, but it actually is. It's pretty damn manageable. It's not as bad as it could possibly be. And then mission 6 does have one fight that gave me some serious issues, but if you look at the bottom left, in the last video I was talking about the perfect charges that Vergil has. Now I want to go over the doppelgangers. So if you look on the bottom, I have the blue and yellow circles highlighted. That's not what I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about is you see the diamond pattern on the bottom left? Let's just ignore the two colored circles and look at the top one, which is not highlighted. That's just the standard doppelganger. Sorry. The standard doppelganger mimics your attacks. It's the standard copy. He's gonna copy every attack you do. He's gonna copy it. Now, if you press down on the D-pad, depending on what control scheme you have, and if you've rebinded anything, if you want asynchronous help from the doppelganger, then you select the bottom and get the yellow selected. And then what's gonna happen is he'll do the combos that you're doing, but he'll do it in backwards order. So if you want to adapt your playstyle to that, or if enemies seem to line up better to asynchronous hits of the Yamato, that's something that you can do. So that's the top and bottom. The left one, which is the blue, that is a standard mimic doppelganger, which will perform angelic Yamato combos. So if you then press right on the D-pad, you will be able to have another standard mimic doppelganger, but this time he'll perform the demonic Yamato combos. So you get a wide selection, and what I've experienced quite a bit is on the imprisoned enemies and sometimes the butchers. The demonic Yamato doppelganger staggers, and it seems to just lock the imprisoned in place, and he doesn't do anything. I don't know if it's a glitch or if somehow it petrifies him. Not like God of War, with the Gorgon, but it could also be a glitch, because what I was thinking is this game is rife with glitches. I'm not saying that because I hate this game, and watch out for the lingering hurt box of that chainsaw. It's really bad. Like, really beware of that, because it takes away massive damage. But I have had many issues with this game, having to having to close the software and reboot the game constantly after restarting from checkpoints, because it just doesn't load. One time I tried to get to the main menu, and it did a perpetual loading screen. And one other time, I restarted from a checkpoint, and the enemies never appeared, so I couldn't progress. Now you might think that's a good thing, but it's not when, like, the grapple points won't appear until you kill the enemies. So I was just stuck, but I was able to, reboot the software and get back in to where I was, and the enemies actually did come back. There's no excuse for it, and it's absolutely disgusting. just about as disgusting as not putting an invert x-axis in a game called The Evil Within, which I will be probably covering, and I have somewhat adapted to not being able to invert the x-axis, but it's just pissing me off really badly. But good news is I'm somewhat used to it, and I'm handling it honorably, I would say. So Mission 6 gave me some problems. I don't think this chapter gave me a single problem, and I hope it doesn't give you any. So we have some elite Stygians here, and a butcher and a tyrant. Tyrants are very fun to fight. I think you might struggle on Mission 6, and I also think you might struggle on Hollow Vergil. You know, I'm here to help you. I have some pretty good techniques, and just watch out for the falling off. It's really bad. But anyway, the guide's recorded. Everything's finished. So I'm now coming back to this a couple of days later. I've been exhausted lately dealing with stuff, but everything turned out okay, and the guide's going good, and it's finished, and it was completed sans items. It looks like we have a double triggered enemy now. Some people have been requesting that I do Gods Must Die, and that does look like a pretty good proposition at the current time, because compared to Dante Must Die or Vergil Must Die, you get hit much harder on Gods Must Die, and obviously you can't use, there's no item usage, which is not an issue for me because I've already cleared these campaigns without using them. However, getting dealt like twice as much damage on that difficulty, I believe, I'll have to double check it a little bit, but it seems like you're getting dealt twice the amount of damage. And again, I'm talking about the hardcore version of Gods Must Die. So we've got some, the harpies hurt, they really do when they hit you. So anyway, about the doppelgangers, and I'm sorry about speaking over these fights, but they're pretty damn simple. They really are. So you might be thinking to yourself, or you know, wondering, what's the difference between the angelic doppelganger and the demonic doppelganger? Is one preferred? Does the demonic one deal more damage? Not necessarily. It's just that the combos that it does is different. In certain situations, probably it would deal more damage one or over the other. Finally got a parry. I was trying to get a parry for you guys on that damn enemy. But I think the more important thing is, you know, do you want a straight copy with the doppelganger, or do you want asynchronous combat? I don't think that, like, the majority of what I want, I just want a straight copy, so I'm dealing double damage instantly on these enemies. And I had to rebind the mimic for the delay. It's called the bottom one, which is yellow. That's called the delay. I had to rebind that one because it's not registering the fact that I'm pressing the L3 plus R3 button. I don't think it's a fact that my control's new or anything like that. It's not really new. I've had this PS4 for about a year. So obviously I haven't used it much, but it's hard to get good things these days anymore. You know, you get brand new games and they're so buggy. And you know, the Evil Within, here's the thing about the Evil Within. You know, I've been bashing it and saying it doesn't have the invert x-axis option. The thing is, I started playing it, and it's a really fun game. I love it. It's really fun, and I want to play it. And the thing is, every time I swivel the camera, it's going the opposite direction, and I'm about to slit the person's throat. I feel, obviously I'm not going to, but I just want to just strangle the person who didn't put that option in there. And I can't fathom why it's not in there. Maybe they just wanted the camera a certain way. But hell, you put the y-axis option in and just fuck you. You know what you did. You lazy bastards, that's all I can say. So that's the end of the story. And more rants will come, definitely, if I do the guide, because how can I not talk about that when I'm playing the actual game? We've got some shielded Bathos enemies over here, or Pathos. I don't know which ones they are, I'm sorry about that, but the routine for these guys is to do the angelic pull, then the demon pull, and then hit them. Flying enemies in this game are pretty problematic. But I think I said I spent about half of a day trying to take Hollow Vergil out. And the thing is, he lets you beat him up quite a lot. He really does. And is he much of a cheap enemy as much as it just takes a long time? See, the problem is with this definitive edition, if you haven't bought it or if you don't know much about it, is they've bitch-proofed it. That's what I said that on Twitter, and it's true. What they've done is everything that was exploitable before, they found every one of those things, and they bitch-proofed it so people can't do the exploits anymore. Which basically means see ya to having fun. No more fun. Now, that's not the end-all of fun or anything like that. It's just that that's not what I wanted when I bought this game. I wanted everything the same. I wanted it hard, a little harder, but not at the sake of the fun, you know, of these exploits. And what exploits am I talking about? You know, just the main damage-dealing moves. That was the funnest thing to do. But as it stands, this is... like this campaign, if you struggle on DmC Must Die with hardcore, you're gonna struggle on this pretty bad. But I'm here to mitigate that struggle as much as possible. And I want the best quality here because I've actually been looking around for guides on this, not because I need help, just because I'm kind of curious who's doing what. And nobody does commentary. Commentary is just I don't know why people don't do as much commentary, but like on these difficulties you really need it, and most people aren't even playing the harder difficulties, and if they are, they're just playing in private, which is fine. But you know, I'm making a guide and I want to help people, and I'm having a blast playing this game. So we're coming up on, I think, one of the final fights. Yeah, one of the final fights. This might be a tricky fight. Remember on the witches, it's the blistering swords. There is a very hard fight in Mission 6 where it's a three-way fight, and the first two waves are simple, per usual. And then they throw one of these enemies at you, a witch, plus two butchers. So basically, you need to be using the doppelganger the instant you see those butchers, and just rely on the damage efficacy of the butchers, because not the butchers, but the demon form. See, I have the demon formed here, and in video 2 I said that the devil trigger doesn't heal you while you use it. That's wrong. I'm sorry about that. I was going to put an annotation in the video, but I didn't. It does heal you when you use it, but I sit pretty far back from my computer monitor where I play everything, and I never saw that it was healing me, because it's really very incremental and minor healing, but you do get healed, which is a saving grace for this difficulty, especially on some of the really hard encounters. And Hollow Vergil, what I did was, I've fought him before on the 360 version, and it's things like I just don't like how they bitch-proof this game. I'm sorry to have to put it in those kind of terms, but you know, I can understand if people were you know, if take this for example, if on some of these maps there are places where you can stand without ever getting damaged, like people have found those kind of things, and I'm fine with those getting fixed, because you know, that's definitely not what people need to be doing to improve themselves, because it's a programming error. You know, finding a spot on the map where taking damage is impossible. But taking away the fun is what they did here, to be honest about it. But you can still have fun. Like, see, look at this butcher. He's frozen. He's frozen in place. I don't know what this is. Is it a glitch? I don't know. But see how quickly you can dispatch those guys? Use the demonic form of the doppelganger. It might work with the angelic form, but I happen to believe it's the demonic version. Okay, so you see the move that I did right there on those enemies? That move takes away, it used to take away a lot from Hall of Vergil, but now it doesn't. It just does very minor damage. But we're coming down here into the catacombs now, and we will have that fight with the imprisoned. There he is. And it is a pretty cheap enemy, I have to admit it, because he throws up a lot of barbed wire stuff. But look at this. He's not even moving. Well, he in a second, you'll see him not even move. So this is exactly what you need to do. Don't even worry about the lackeys. The doppelganger will hit the lackeys. Look what he's doing. He's locked in place. He's not even moving. Take advantage of that. And it's just things like that that I don't know what that is. If it's a glitch, you know, that's just one more that I've found. And it's convenient, admittedly, but it's just pathetic at the same time. Take care.